My name is Dorothy Duodu, and I want to show you what I've been doing to produce quality compost in Ghana here. We do this on a large scale here, but for a leaf farmer, you can be a small scale farmer, medium scale farmer, you can be a big scale farmer. All you need is your waste for your compost. It doesn't necessarily need to be very big. This is the waste that is used as raw material for the compost, and it comes from Blue Skies. Blue Skies is an agro-processing company that processes fruits into fruit salads and fruit juice. And you can see from the waste we have some pineapple, we have some pawpaw, and we have some mango peels all mixed together. I want to show you the other ingredients we used in our compost. This is from pineapple, is pineapple crown. We have the cardboard here. We have our wood shavings here. Then we have our poultry manure as well, all mixed together in a pile form to give us a compost pile. If your materials are both wet and dry, then put your dry materials down first, and then the wet materials will be on top of the dry materials so that the dry materials can absorb the moisture from the wet materials. Putting in different ingredients as you are bringing together microorganisms from different sources all mixed together, and it gives you a very rich compost at the end of the whole process. Okay, so you have your different materials for your compost, and we've turned them all into the mixture. Now what is next is you need something to accelerate the breaking down of the tissues. That is called the starter or accelerator, like what we have here. But if you don't have that one, don't worry. It means you just need to chop your materials into smaller sizes so that they can break down faster and you have your compost within a shorter time. Now, our mixture will take between 2 to 3 months to be fully matured for farm use. However, within that 2 to 3 months, there are things you have to do, and that include turning the mixture from time to time to beat out the stale air in the pile and to beat in fresh air. And also by turning, you are redistributing the microorganisms that break down the tissues of your raw materials. If you have a small heap, you turn it by hand with your spade or shovel. And if you have a lot of heap, like what we have here, you use the turning machine. And again, you have to monitor to see that your mixture is not very dry. So from time to time, you can sprinkle very little water on your pile. The pile should be heating up. If the pile is not heating up, you need to add more dry materials. And if your pile is heating up too much, you need to put in more green materials. So here we are, our ready compost, which is sweet smelling, just like ordinary earth, ready for farm use. And my colleague will show you how it is used on the farm.
Following on what my colleague Dorothy showed you about making compost, I'm here to talk about what we do with this same compost on the fields of the farmers. My name is Shakespeare Jokoto, and I'm in charge of research and experimentation at Blue Skies. We have been trying to help the farmers beat down costs because when MD2 was introduced, MD2 is another variety of pineapple. They compel the farmers to plant it on plastics because it's not as resistant to drought as our local variety, the smooth cayenne. But with compost, we were able to prove that it can be planted on the bare floor. Using compost saves the farmers lots of money because money that hitherto used to buy plastics are used for other things to help alleviate some financial pressures. Besides, we all know that plastics find it very difficult to decay, and it also saves the environment. When we bring the compost to the farm, we apply it in between the plants. So maybe I'll just show you what we do. The way the plant rows are structured will hinder the compost from leaving the row. So it's very simple, placing the compost on top of the soil next to the plant. Then the soil microbes now work it into the soil as the days pass by. The other thing we do with the compost is we brew what we call the compost tea. Now the compost is put in sacks and then we immerse it in water. And the microbes or the nutrients in the compost seep slowly into the water, and that takes between 7 and 10 days. And after that, we take it out, stir whatever we've gotten out of the compost, and then apply it to the plants. Now it helps the plant, one, to resist diseases, two, to resist drought. When it is really dry, we drench the plant actually with a compost liquid. We don't spray on the leaves any longer. We spray on the leaves only when the weather is conducive and there is some degree of moisture in the soil. As you can see, in conclusion, I'd like to say that the best thing to do is to introduce compost into your farming systems. We have benefited a lot from it. If I tell you what these plants have gone through, without compost, you wouldn't have seen them as beautiful as they are. And we would like to advise all farmers, both men and women, to incorporate compost into their farming systems and to benefit from it, maybe even better than we in Ghana.
So you see, from the waste gathered on your farm or from your processing, what you can put it into, and then the results it will give you on your farm out of the produce. So for the leaf farmer, composting should always be the best form of reusing the waste created on your farm.